beautiful friends? This is day 14 of Ethany Dawn's 31 Days of Tarot Challenge, and we are being asked what decks give us the most insight from the imagery and the symbols, as opposed to from our intuition and from our basic knowledge of tarot. And I think this is a very confusing prompt because I don't think you can separate the two, honestly. I think that the symbols trigger an intuitive knowledge or something we connect to that we relate to that then causes us to relate the meaning and to learn the meaning, to understand the meaning, and to be able to interpret the meaning. So I am not sure how you can separate them, to be honest. For instance, one of my examples is this Eight of Cups in the Sasurabito is a very modern deck. And I think that all modern women and men who have been with women who've done this can relate to the idea of when something significant ends, when a woman has to change her dream, her belief of how things were going to be, and she has to pick herself up by the bootstraps and go back out there. One of the things she does is gives herself a haircut. And this symbolizes shedding the old and stepping into a new world with a clean slate, right? We don't have our fancy hairdo that we've kept for so many years anymore. It's time to let that go and see what our hair is like now, which symbolizes who are we now, who are we going to be next. And so this is a symbol, if you will, through imagery. So maybe that's what you mean. This deck would qualify for something that has great insight because of the imagery. Okay, but yeah, so I guess that does kind of work. But here's the other side of that thing, is that this deck is so well known because I've learned the symbols, and because I know the symbols, now the imagery has the meaning it has. So because, for instance, it's yellow sky, so it's intelligence. There's wheat and vegetation throughout, so we've got fertility and fecundity. We've got the waterfall, which is the Gnostic symbol next to wheat for fecundity. So we've got an intelligence life force that is spreading, right? We have the feminine sitting on a throne, which is a place of power. In a white gown, purity, with pomegranates, creativity. So we have powerful, pure creation coming. So this is an intelligent, pure creation that is spreading, growing, being birthed all over the place. She's got passion and creativity with the red behind her and the orange. So we know that this comes from a place of emotion and a place of beauty and a place of desire, right? We also have the reverse shield of Venus, and we have it on the pillow, the same Venus symbol, which is beauty and love. So reinforced is this beauty and love that's got her back, that's behind her in this creation. We have the orb, the scepter with the orb on top, which is dominion over life. And we have a crown with the 12 six-pointed stars, which represent the zodiac. So her divinity and her dominion over the universe, over everything. So this is an intelligent life force that is spreading beauty, love, divine creation all over everything and everywhere. And often she's pregnant, so she's giving birth. This is the feminine principle giving birth to the world. Now, we get that simple understanding because of all those symbols. So Rider Waite, for me, is a deck that's inspired because of the symbols. A couple of other decks that are inspired to me from imagery, though, and if I had Benabel Wen, that would be another deck inspired by the symbols. But I don't have it, so I can't show it. I've mentioned that before, right? I don't have the, yeah, you know that already. Okay. Just saying, in case you have an extra copy. But two other decks that are very imagery driven, but I think they might be intuitive, but I don't see them as that. I see them as imagery driven, but I could be wrong. Devas of Creation. This is the Insect Kingdom card, and the imagery is one of a very complex ecosystem of lots of different brands or different species of insects. I think it's the most species of all the kingdoms. And they have a complex work ethic of working and transforming. They are very busy little creatures weaving webs, either working alone or working in community. There can be ants, they can be spiders who do their own little web, they can be bees, but they're working hard and they're always building, and they're so important to our ecosystem. So what does that tell you? Well, that's from the imagery. This is creation, so this is the divine life spark coming powerfully through the cosmos, the gaseous atmosphere in order to create life. This is Uranus, the third largest planet in the solar system, that happens to rotate on an irregular axis, so it is moving more chaotically than would appear to be stable, and it represents freedom, rebellion, unconventional thoughts. Right? This is summer. This is Crystal Kingdom. And these all have more meanings like I was describing before. Crystal Kingdom is unique because it's very, very slow wisdom. It's very, very slow transformation. It can barely be seen. And we as humans are one of the few people who do witness a rock turning into a crystal and then being able to separate the crystal and extract it for its beauty and its energetic properties. So now we just have to make good use of it. That's Devas of Creation. And then my last nod would be to my beloved Marielle, which the imagery to me is still uncomparable to any other deck, simply in its grand scope and its magnificent artistry and its deep, intuitive, and well thought out guidebook for everything that she painted. So this is one of my favorites. This is Siddhartha, basically on his tiger of destiny. And we know the story of Siddhartha, and that's the Knight of Discs. He goes out from his place of comfort to seek a deeper meaning. That's his destiny. We have the Black Wolf of the Seven of Cups, which in her deck, rather than being illusion or daydreaming or fantasy, we've got subconscious, we've got the shadow, we've got the dark that has to be there for the light. We have diving deep and being willing to face our fear. This is fear coming at us, our demon. This is our crone, Morta, I think is her name, and she's representing death. But more than death, she's representing life, to live it to the fullest, because death is with us constantly and we never know when it will strike. So be sure to suck every fiber of life out of each day that you can. She also represents that life transitions aren't just in humans or in life forces, but they are in seasons, they are in friendships, they are in, housing. All things have a cycle of beginning, middle, and end. And very often the length of that determines how much growth you will have. The more you keep moving or the more you're changing, the more you're growing. You can be deepening and staying in one, but other things around you could be changing. I'm not saying that's the only way, but all things have a death, and death is very important for rebirth and growth. Or we have, this is unique because it's the Ace of Swords, which sorry, I'm not making it easy. which is unlike any other Ace of Swords you normally see, which is the single sword coming up from the lake or out from the clouds or falling from the sky to represent aha moments. But for this ace, we have the most noble of air creatures, the eagle, who can dive at lightning speed like a thought bonks you on the head. Aha, oh my God. Or it can raise to the highest heights to get a different perspective, a new point of view on a situation. And that's her symbol for the ace, which I think is beautiful. I mean, it's just stunning. We always love Marielle. So that's it for decks that give me insight due to their symbology or imagery versus what I know. But I think that they're combined. I still do. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm really enjoying watching all your videos. So I look forward to talking to you all again tomorrow and seeing what you have for day 14. Until then, take care, everybody, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.